Like I built the pilot tunnel, but then I used the actual pipeline to smooth it out and make it like navigable.
Flares are recharging.
Yeah.
Yeah, corporations get more dangerous the more we start funding mercenaries like Blackwater, who renamed themselves because Blackwater got tarnished. Or Blackwater is a name that's too hot to have.
Yeah.
I forget what Blackwater renamed themselves.
Let's see, hold on. Where's the third pump jack? I see two. Where's the third? Or did we never actually call down a third pump jack?
Did we not?
I see one over there, one where you are, one to our right, and then I don't see a third. Oh my god.
I swear I thought I saw a third.
Did we not get a third?
You know what? You start digging, I'm gonna look for that third pump jack. I think I might have an idea where it is.
Yeah, hold on.
Oh yeah, Venezuela. Also, Venezuela's in a situation like it is because of mercenaries.
Oh yeah, no, like, anytime you hear, like, the US talk about Venezuela, it's very important to remember that we're responsible for it. Like, Venezuela, well, and more specifically, like,
Request accepted. Stand clear.
our government doesn't like the fact that the Venezuelan people voted the way that they did. And so ever since then, we've been wanting to basically help a coup. In fact, I'm 90% sure that that coup that happened, or the attempted coup that happened like a year ago, was like entirely backed by the U.S.
Didn't they bust a bunch of confirmed our agents in that coup?
Unofficially.
Basically, we disown them if they are.
Well, yeah, because I mean, it was like what I was talking about earlier with contractors, where it's like they will completely abandon you if you get in trouble.
Oh yeah.
So long, suckers!
And that's kind of what happened with the Venezuela coup, because it failed, and they're like, "All right, you failed, so we're not even gonna pretend we know you." So. But yeah.
Well, I guess we had to dig a ghetto tunnel through here.
Yeah, well, probably want to do it down, not up where we are right now.
Yep. But you know how contractors are. They get greedy. They think they could indeploy their way through it. And also, let's put it this way. Sometimes the shareholders of a contractors are like, hey, you know what? Let's try to make as much profit as possible, so let our boots on the ground not have what they need.
The swarm is upon you.
Yeah. It's all imperialist bullshit.
Imperialism ain't dead, people.
No, not even close. If anything, it's more alive than it ever was.
You know, I keep joking. What's it? Someone should start a corporation to get into the military-industrial complex with the express purpose of underselling. Underselling and underbidding every single other contractor, but still performing their duties as expected or exceeding it. Just have a completely fuck up the system and try to justify a smaller budget by saying, hey, we don't need this money to pay these overbloated contractors.
That won't work. They'll just say, oh, we need to throw even more money because of. They'll make up reasons, honestly.
Oh yeah.
They'll just make shit up if they have to. Anything to fund imperialism.
Honestly, at this point, we just gotta wait for the politicians to drop dead.
It kind of feels like that sometimes.
And hell, it's kind of funny when my parents are like, yeah, honestly, it's probably going to be your generation, because knowing how things are working out, our generation's getting skipped in the political sphere.
Yeah, Generation X definitely feels kind of skipped in that regard. And yeah, to some extent they kind of are.
What was it? As my mom put it, I think also your generation's the only one that's actually getting pissed.
Well, yeah, no, because one thing that has happened with Gen X is that they got very cynical and very apathetic. And apathy is one of the most dangerous things to have in politics, because it basically means you're okay with letting shitty things happen.
Yeah, but I'm saying though, it's like, have a hostile takeover of the contractor market by underbidding everybody on everything and force them out.
Yeah, I don't think that'll do anything, Kelvin. I'm pretty sure that will just exacerbate the problem. Hell, even on principle, I don't even think that's a good idea. Like, just fighting, like, trying to counter corporate imperialism with more corporate imperialism. No, that's not going to work.
Pipe goes here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm burning through a lot of ammo this mission.
Oh, there's more nitro over here. So.
God, you know, it's kind of a stupid thing actually. Apparently, what was it? It's the only way to pull things like even simple stuff like you know, donating like food that isn't normally available to them, and or
Second
things
pump jack
or
connected.
good socks or anything like that to
Almost there.
soldiers. You can't, as an individual, ever directly give it to soldiers as a gift, so to speak. There's so much bureaucracy to even do it, because like, oh, you might try to influence the soldiers. It's like, no, you just contractors have a stranglehold on them.
How silly of them to pretend to care about corruption.
Right?
Where's our third?
Like, apparently if you want to make, like, donations to give, you know, like, simply, like, a shipment of, like, nice socks for the soldiers, you have to go through so much bureaucratic bullshit. Because put it this way, their standard issue socks are not that great.
Jeez.
Like, there's a big difference between the tube socks that are was a standard issue versus a pair of like darn
Getting
cuffs.
supplies.
I should probably also deposit my resources.
Yeah.
Oh god, that last pump jack's gonna be a bitch to get to.
Yeah, I'm like trying to think of the pathing there. It's like, do we just like try to just like go along the ground here, or do we actually build a tunnel? I don't know. So I'm like kind of just like thinking, because we already have a pipeline here, so having one run parallel to it for a bit, it's not too bad. Oh, but once we get here, we can have it go here. And then maybe run along here. And then we're gonna need a tunnel at least a little bit, I think. Which makes me wonder if we should just tunnel a lot.
Probably. Yeah, it's like behind like a solid wall, effectively.
Yeah, so you know what? We might as well just tunnel there. I'm gonna like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a tunnel here. You should just like make a tunnel through that way.
Through the mine head, yeah.
Man, sucks that I'm not driller here, because This is gonna.
You know, maybe I should have been driller because my driller is kind of underleveled.
Yeah, because this is like agony to do it this way. And it's like, oh, this would be so much faster with driller. I'd be so excited if I were doing this as driller.
America. New presidency, different paint job. Same shit, different paint job.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like, you know, I know I'm like one of those types of people that like, you know, some people might react it's like, well, you didn't never gave Biden a chance or whatever. It's like, well, I wanted to be proven wrong, and so far I've only been proven right. So.
Yep. As someone who has, although not nearly a hyper crazy high level, but more, might as well be compared to most average American citizens. Like, I'm familiar with Native American history. It's just like, never trust the system, ever.
Yeah, which like, you know, I mean that's why part of why my goal is like actually genuinely change the system. Because to me the problem is the system. It's like, because it's like you're always gonna have the like people like Biden. You're always gonna have people like Trump. So long as you keep the system. Like if you don't change the system, it's gonna always be a problem. Like if you thought Trump was like the worst thing that ever happened to America, first of all you're wrong. But second of all, like
Trump is very ridiculous, but nowhere near the worst.
But like it's like we're not like immune to getting a new Trump. Like nothing's changed, and like I would say we're actually seriously at risk of getting someone worse if unless we actually get some actual change. Which like we can do it. It's just a matter of political will. We have the money, we have the resources. We just don't have the political will, it seems.
Sweet.
Yeah, the worst president I think the final nail in the coffin. Reagan.
Reagan for worst president? Maybe. He's a certainly good candidate for that.
Yeah.
You
know, it's kind of a funny thing actually when I bring up Native American history and how it colors your perception. My perceptions. It's like when people are like, oh, people love and whatnot, Abraham Lincoln, and I'm like, dude, he had like he's also a president that had a massive hate for natives.
Yeah. Though it is pretty hard to put down the whole slavery thing, so it's like
it's very hard to put it down.
And like, look, if we're going to the extent that we could talk about U.S. presidents as good, yeah, that's a fair point.
Your time is up, creep.
But
like,
if
also, remember, he also has the record for the president for the single largest mass execution, which was natives.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's actually true. Where did I build my tunnel?
Wave's almost over.
And just dueling a oppressor over at the mine head and its ads.
It'll be a beauty once it's complete.
Okay.
Ramming speed.
Here, what's a good?
You know, it's a weird thought that I had actually. When we talk about the horrors of boarding school and the systems that were of it and all that, a lot of people are, oh, that was forever ago. You know, like maybe the 40s or 30s. No, my dad went to the boarding schools. My dad.
Well, I mean, it's kind of similar with like, you know, just segregation, for example. It's like, like a lot of that shit was our fucking
Let's,
grandparents.